Hello, and welcome back to my bed again. Sorry if you were waiting for me. My computer had a meltdown immediately before I was going to live stream. So I set the whole thing up, and then I took some photos, and I was like, I'm going to hop over to Photoshop really quick, and I'm going to make a thumbnail. And somehow in that whole process, my computer blue screened of death on me. It had a total meltdown. It had to restart, and it was a whole thing, I must say. I think it might have something to do with my camera, because this happens sometimes where when I try to use my camera, the front-facing camera specifically, my computer will have a meltdown randomly and give me the blue screen of death. And whenever this happens, I get a little paranoid that I'm like, what's wrong? What's wrong with my front-facing camera? Is somebody trying to use it? Is that why it keeps melting down? Because I've had it pop up being like, your camera is being used by another app. And I'm like, what app is using my camera right now? So I don't know why it does that. And sometimes I'm just like feeling paranoid about it. But then I remind myself of the time that my friend fixed my computer for me when really they just wanted to, I guess they fixed it, but they also mostly wanted to install a bunch of spyware, it turns out. It really should have been a bigger red flag when they encouraged me not to install any antiviruses on my computer. That really should have been the red flag. So I remind myself of that, and then that exact same individual was also secretly recording and podcasting our phone conversations. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I understand why you feel that way sometimes, Sam. So anyways, something may or may not have been going on with my camera. I don't know. All I know is that I was trying to make a thumbnail, and I was then trying to check my camera to make sure everything was how I wanted it to be to start this stream. And my computer had a meltdown. So sorry I'm a little late. I don't know. That was like an act of God or the devil or something, because I was doing so good. Okay. So I'm here to talk about confusion and things. So I actually wrote down a list of things that I wanted to talk about on this stream. Oh, first thing I'll start out with, you may have noticed that my hair is a little bit different. Well, that's one of the things I want to talk about today is, I don't know, I just haven't been, I guess that I haven't really been feeling like live streaming a lot lately, because I've just been feeling very self-conscious and not happy. I do not know why, but over the past few months, a lot of my hair has fallen out. Like, I have a condition, and I've had it since I was a toddler. Alopecia areata. Technically, it's a skin condition, but it makes your hair fall out. And anyway, my hair's been falling out a lot, and it's been making me feel weird. But today I decided I was going to I don't know why I decided I was going to stream like this. I don't know. Feeling bold, I guess. I've been getting back into a habit of going for a run first thing in the morning. So I've been doing that the last couple of weeks, because usually I'll find either a time in the middle of the day, maybe I just need to take a break from what I'm doing, go run, blow off some steam, or maybe in the evening. But the last couple of weeks I've been starting out my day with a run, and I gotta say, I've been liking it better, I think. And another thing is I've also been started going out just bald, where I'll just run around and I'll just let my baldness out. instead of wearing a hat. And it's been pretty freeing. It's been feeling pretty good. So I figured we've been running as a bald person. Why not stream? I don't know. I thought it looked kind of pretty, so I was considering like fixing my hair and putting on a hat or maybe doing a wig or something, but I don't know. I like how this worked. I like how this ended up. So this is Friday night, Independence Day weekend. Independence weekend. Anyway, let me pull up my list really quick. I think that'll help. I think it'll help if I pull up my list and use my prompts. So one moment. So today, let's see, what was the title of this stream? Confusion, churning, alopecia, aggravation, lost poems. Yeah, that's what it was. So that's what we're going to be doing in this particular live stream today. I do hope you enjoy it. Okay, so I began my note saying, feeling a content rut. And I know some others are too, but we keep pushing through. Yeah, I've been going through some emotional hurdles, you could say, the past couple of months. I try not to let my hair bother me, but when it falls out as it has been, then I do really get bummed out because it has fallen out all on this side. Same thing on this side. I just have it swooped over. You can kind of see that it's falling out in the middle of my forehead too. And, it's already bald. It's all bald. It's all bald in back. It's just, I've lost so much hair and it just makes me feel very self-conscious. But honestly, I've never, ever had a full head of hair. Ever. And yet I still put on myself that it's like, I'm not allowed to be a part of the world. I'm not allowed to be a thing until I have all of my hair. That's how I've always felt. Until my skin is perfect, until my hair is perfect, I cannot be a part of the world. And that's a rather harsh sort of expectation of myself. Especially given that some things are just not fully under my control. And nobody knows how to fix this. I've been to the doctor so many times and it has never fixed things. I used to get hundreds of steroid injections in my scalp. Hundreds. Honestly, it created a bit of a bad association. So I don't know. You go to the doctor once a month and you get literally hundreds of shots because they have to put it every half inch is what they do. And you can see like afterwards when I used to go do it, I would have like a bunch of bloody pinpricks all across my scalp, until it healed over. And honestly, it was a really traumatizing experience. It really was. And I tried so many things growing up and literally nothing has ever worked. So, I mean, I don't know what to do about that. I decided to stop torturing myself though, because it was really a very horrible experience. It was really painful. It was really excruciating. And the results were just not there. I found that if it was a small enough spot, then sometimes it would help. But if it was like this, I was basically just torturing myself and the doctor, to be fair. I found a doctor that I did really like, and her name was Carrie. And I really liked her, but I know that she didn't enjoy doing that any more than I enjoyed getting it. So also I ended up being a little bit of an experiment, which made things a little awkward because I don't know, just broke college kid, man, And so they would put me on these like weird trials, and I would go in there and I'd be a little, they'd take photos and they'd take notes on me, and I kind of was a little lab rat. And yeah, it was something I don't really want to do again. And then after that, I entered my hippie phase sometime after that, or my new age magic. You can just think yourself better. Da, 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 da. All you have to do, Sam, is you just have to have the perfect mindset. You have to be perfectly happy all the time. You have to just think that you have hair, and guess what? It'll come back. That's what I was putting on myself for a while, where I thought, well, maybe if I just eat a perfect diet and I law of attraction my way to healing, I really believed. I was like, maybe I can do this, maybe I can do this. I don't know, I'm sure there are people who would maybe watch and be like, well, have you tried this, have you tried this, have you tried I've been told a lot of things. I've been told everything from only veggies to only meat. I had a guy tell me one time that I should try eating an all beef diet. Sent me a video of this person who just literally ate beef patties every single day and claimed that all of their health problems were fixed after doing this. And to be fair, I did actually incorporate beef patties into my diet after, not only because I don't think I could only eat beef patties. That doesn't sound good. I did try, because I was like, well, maybe I need more protein, or I don't know. It didn't really help either. Yeah. So basically, I don't know what to do. Sorry if you came here looking for a solution, but I've never found it, and I've tried a lot of things. So I don't know. I guess what I'm going through now is just a process of acceptance, perhaps. Learning to be okay with myself, which it's been a struggle, that trip that I told you guys about last time that I went on and everything. Well, you know what I told myself? Like, one reason why I think that I had this building stress, because as much as it is fun to travel, and it is fun to go on adventures, there is a bit of stress involved in it. So I felt like I was building up to that for like months, because I planned it at the beginning of the year when I got invited originally. So for months I've been anticipating it, and this whole time I was like, I've got to make sure that I'm transformed into this immaculate goddess of a person. I'm going to have long flowing hair. My skin is going to be perfectly perfect. Not a flaw on it at all. I'm going to be like ripped, and I'm going to have freaking six pack, and I'm going to go on there and I'm going to be like, what, bam. Well, guess what, guys? That didn't really happen. But I really, really put that on myself, that I was like, oh, you're going to go meet a whole bunch of new people. You have to make yourself not a monster for them. You and your baldness and your imperfections. How dare you? How dare you go see the rest of the humans? It's not a very nice way to frame it up, I've got to say. But that's of course just the extreme inner critic part of my brain that's doing that. So of course, the other more realistic part of me was like, come on, Sam, do you really think is that even physically possible to have a full flowing head of hair in the course of 3 months? Even people who grow really good hair couldn't do that. It was too much, I gotta say, but it went okay. I was quite self-conscious. I'm not gonna lie. I was quite self-conscious. That's why I was wearing wigs to begin with, and I don't know. I just didn't know if I could trust the people there, I didn't feel strong enough in myself to just go out like that, Anyway, So that is a part of the problem. I guess I can say check. I've talked about this point. Check. Let's see. What else did I talk about? Oh yeah, the content rut. Honestly, you guys, I gave myself too many things. That's what I did, is I gave myself too many competing ideas of what I should do. And then I just really confused the crap out of myself. And then I started really, I've just been going through some self-esteem hurdles. I'll put it that way. Some self-esteem hurdles, I don't know. I just put a lot of pressure on myself, having certain follower goals, not exactly meeting that, but I kind of knew there was a chance that wouldn't happen anyway. I don't put myself, I really don't put too much on myself that way. I'm pretty chill with the numbers, I suppose you could say. I try not to let them rule me because I know there's a potential. I do enjoy seeing the stats and things though. So right now, since there's not really anything writing on it, so it's just kind of fun. It's just kind of fun. It's just information. Here's hoping I can keep that attitude for as long as I'm doing this for. All right. Oh yeah, part of it is I just had my bad experience on Instagram. I was feeling very social and very happy, and but then I retreated for a moment, reset the system, and I'm feeling that feeling bubbling up again. It's percolating. There have been a few times lately where I've hopped over to Instagram and I've just been having a ball. And I'm like, oh yeah, when I was really in the flow, I was really going with it. I felt like I was attracting a lot more attention. That's what it felt like, is as I felt social, I just felt happy, and it just felt really good. And then things went a direction I did not prefer them to go. I did not know how to handle it very well at all. And I just kind of clammed up. A bunch of things happened. I clammed up. And I'm figuring it out. Also, I feel like a lot of people have this central point that they kind of work from, and they figure that out from there. My central point seems to be a bit of a moving target. I mean, I've got my core self, but the things my self wants to do has always been a lot of things. It's always been, I get very confused. I get confused. This is kind of recurring theme for me, is just, I really admire people who have a really strong grasp of themselves from a young age. I can think of a few people like that, and I consider my sisters even like that, where they had a better grasp of themselves and just what they wanted. I've always had a very vague goal to be an artist. And then I'm like, do I want to draw things? Do I want to write things? Do I want to videos? What do I want to do? I just want to do it all. I just want to do it all, is the problem. Or maybe it's not a problem at all. Jack of all trades, master of none, better than being a master of one, as they say. And I have taken that to heart, I would say. But I'm trying to decide what my central point for this channel would be, I guess I'm the central point, aren't I? I'm the central point. I'm the central point of this channel. But what I mean by that is other people have specific goals for their channel. Maybe they're a political show, they do commentary, or maybe they review food. Maybe they do art, maybe they do drawing sessions or something like that. They have a very specific one or couple of things that they do. And I just haven't really figured out what that is yet. I do think that it's a process, or if I just do it, the right thing will come to light, or at least that's been my philosophy up until this point. And I think it has been working, honestly. It's kind of, I know that I've talked about this before, about that idea of time being a spiral, and I don't know if that's true at all, or why that would be, why it would behave like that. But this idea of like cyclical themes, and I do feel like it's kind of circled around and around and around, where it's like on the first pass, it's like I'm taking in everything, and then the second pass, and it's like making some cuts, dialing it in, getting it, and I think I'm getting there. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting there. I feel it. It feels good, actually. It feels good. So hopefully over the next few months, things will start to be a little better dialed in, even better. Or at least maybe I'll have a little more fun with it, Spice things up. Let's see. Oh, I do want to tell you guys this experience I had on Instagram this morning that just, oh my gosh, I've had such a dumb day of just little mishaps, but you know what? I didn't get too bent out of shape about it. There were times in my past when I was younger where I'm a sensitive being, where I would just, things would happen and it would really upset me and it would just throw me off course. But now I just kind of roll with the punches. There's a lot more resilience these days, I'd say. And this morning, it's a good thing. I had this terrible experience this morning. So on Instagram, okay. So I had this reel that I made for my most recent June journal, and I made a reel. It's a TikTok. And then I just put the TikTok over on Instagram as a reel. It only got a couple hundred views on TikTok, but on Instagram, it blew up more than any video or anything I've ever created on Instagram before. I woke up. This has never happened to me. But I woke up, and then the next day I pulled open. I was just like, all right, let's see what's going on. I pulled it open in my Instagram on my little notifications thing. It popped up with 100 plus. And I was like, what is going on? I was like, I've never had so many likes on a thing that Instagram couldn't tell me about them all. So I was like, holy freaking moly, man. So excited. And I was like, I've got a couple hundred likes on this post, and I've got, almost 6,000 views on it. And I was so happy. Yeah, I really was. I was like, holy moly, people liked this. And that was a nice feeling. So this morning, okay, so on my little reels section, if you use Instagram, you probably have experienced its glitches. Well, there was certainly, so after I posted that reel, there was just this little thumbnail that said drafts. And it was as if there was this extra draft of it. And I just thought it was a weird error, and it had just doubled up on the draft. And I was like, oh, okay. It probably just made an extra copy for some reason. And I just kind of let it chill there because I was like, whatever, nobody else can see it. I don't care. But then this morning I posted another reel, and I opened it up, and that old draft was just still sitting there. And then there was my reels, and I was just like, okay, I'm going to delete that draft. Because it's kind of bothering me that it's just sitting there, and it's just an extra copy, and it doesn't need to be there. So I'm just going to delete it. Why? So I delete this draft, and I have this moment of sheer terror as I realize that my most popular post ever of all time is suddenly gone. And I'm like, And I was just like, Samantha, we just had to delete that draft, didn't we? Well, how was I supposed to know? Anyway, so I recovered it from the trash bin. But unfortunately, because it got deleted off of my profile grid, the post is, and the way you do reels, oh my God, you guys know probably, but in case you don't, there's like reels. And when you post it, then you have the option to put it on your profile grid or not. And I put it on my profile grid. And unfortunately, I guess if you delete it, you can recover it, but you can't put it back on your grid. So that's kind of what I experienced this morning. And I was kind of sad because I wanted it on my grid, but I looked up to see if there was a way, because I was like, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way. Turns out there's actually not. And there was this really clickbaity article that made it seem like there was. And I was like, oh, where is it? Where's the hidden thing? But really what they had done, sneakies, is they had just made an image to make it appear as if there was a way to do it. But they were lying. They were like, well, if you could do it, this is probably how it would work. And I was like, good on you guys. You're probably getting good ad revenue from that, but sneaky. Anyway, there's no way to do it until they update it, and I bet they will. So that's my plan, is I'm just going to wait for them to update it, and then I'll just put it back on my grid. But flip side, though, let's flip it a little bit. On the other hand, my grid does look much more aesthetically pleasing without that reel on the front, actually, which is something I'd actually considered, because I was like, I don't know if that looks the way I want it to, but it's like my most popular post. It's got to be on there. And so I don't know. I have conflicted feelings about it. But I decided, so it really kind of bent me out of shape for a little bit. Like I was quite sad for a minute there. I was like moment of sheer panic, moment of just like heart drop. And then being like, oh, now people have to go over to the next page if they want to see my super awesome, most popular post ever. But I decided that it was the will of the aesthetic gods. Because as I said, my profile actually does look nicer now. I'm like, oh, actually that looks better. You know, and people do kind of care. They do kind of judge your profile at a distance like that. So maybe it was a good thing. So I think it was either the will of the aesthetic gods or the Instagram imps. One or the other. Also, they might have just been in cahoots with this certain scenario, to be honest. I'm wondering if the aesthetic gods sent a note down to the Instagram imps, and they're like, hey, we got this girl, her grid would really look better without this particular post, but she's never going to remove it off of her profile grid because it's her most popular post ever. So could you guys maybe just, I don't know, maybe do a little trick. Just do a little trick. Do something so that she'll like accidentally delete it, you know. That's my running hypothesis of why that happened. Anyway. But whether it was trickster or deity, it certainly was a stressful incident. And I'm just, oh my God. This is how I know my life is a comedy, to be honest. It's a part comedy, part tragedy. I hope it ends up being a romantic comedy at one day, but if I had to choose a genre, I guess being the comedy protagonist is probably the best one of them all, right? slash mystery. There's a bit of mystery and supernaturalism thrown in here as well. So seriously, sometimes I do feel like some greater being is just trolling me. Okay, here's the next thing that I wrote. Let's see. I've begun to become externally what I've always been inside, and it makes me very happy. That's true, actually. I've gone through this process where for a very long time, as I said, I've been confused. I'm a messy person. I'm messy. Okay. I haven't had a very, I'm all over the place. I'm just bouncing around. And I always had this idea of like who I wanted to be, but I couldn't fully step into it yet. And it's like going through the collapse and building it back. And it's taken quite a long time, to be honest, but I wish that it could have gone faster. But, you know, when you go from being in a weird religious cult and then into a new age cult, essentially, and then you're just basically just, you're not prepared. You're not prepared to live. You didn't want to go out and talk to all those people. You didn't want to have to be out there, but guess what? The world was just like, too bad. Yeah, you got to do it. And yeah, it was hard. It took a long time. So, but I must say, when I see what I've built and I see who I've created myself to be, I'm like actually pleased, you know? I put a lot of time and effort into this character. Okay. I've leveled her stats. And I'm finally like, I feel like the character I've created can finally interface with the world effectively, you know? And it's a good shift. I really quite like it, where I've been getting better and better all along. But I feel like finally, like my internet persona is starting to be the way I always hoped it would be. You know, because there's this whole world of internet people that are talking and connecting and creating. And I wanted to be a part of it, you know, but for a while I just felt like I wasn't really accepted. And it was just like, oh, you're not a part of it. You're not there. And I just kept trying and kept trying. And I was like, I'm going to be a part of this. I'm going to do it. 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 And I'm doing it. And yeah, so I'm really pleased with how things are going, to be honest. And it's I guess, I think that sometimes people look at it, and think it's silly. Every once in a while, I have this moment. I had one of these moments a little bit ago. I will have one of these moments where it's usually right before bed when I'm like tired and I'm just not really on it, where I will be hit with sheer terror. And all of a sudden, I will envision me, and I will envision all the things that I've created, and I'll envision all of these live streams and everything that I said and everything that I've done and everybody watching them. And I envision like people, and then I envision like actually getting followers and actually getting numbers. And I'm just like, oh, is that actually what I want? You know, I have these moments where I'm like, oh no. Oh no, what have I done? What have I done? And then, and then I'm like, everybody thinks I look so stupid. I'm like, ugh, I look so dumb. Look at what I'm doing. Everybody must think I'm so stupid. How dare I? How dare I think that I can put art out there? How dare I try to make videos? How dare I? How dare I? You look so dumb, Sam. And I just go through this whole process. But I've gone through it enough times at this point that I know in the morning, I always wake up and I still keep doing the thing. You know, I just keep doing it. And so that's kind of what I've been. Is so now when I start going down that road, I stop myself and I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe those things are true. But are you going to stop? Are you, I mean, and I'm always like, no way. I mean, I've already begun. I can't stop now. I can't stop. The wheel is rolling, you know? I just got to do it. I just got to do it till I can't anymore. And I'm a pretty stubborn individual, so I just plan to keep going. I don't know. It's fun. The thing is it's the funnest thing because it evolves with you, you know? It becomes something as you go. And that is super fun. And it's super fun having a way to connect with all the other internet people. You can connect when you create an avatar, you can connect with all the other avatars out there. And it's nice, you know? I mean, I've been connecting with all kinds of communities, you know, art communities, poetry communities, political communities, miscellaneous communities, radio communities. And I feel like I finally have a character that I'm proud to put out there, you know? Yeah. So that's what that point was about. Let's see. Okay, fine. I'll just read this. I kind of already went over it a little bit. Well, in the intro, while talking about my alopecia stuff, about always being or at least feeling just a little bit ugly, and how everyone, including myself, has been critical of this. If you could just be a little hotter, just a little more perfect, then wow, Sam, you could really be something. I just feel like that's the attitude that I've received repeatedly the entire time. And that I've also, you know, that I feel I have received from the world and then took upon myself as well. I mean, it's, I don't know. It would be easier if people hadn't like said things to me like, you're lucky I put up with the fact that you're bald. No other guy would ever put up with that. Or, you know, my sister works at a plastic surgeon's office. If you wanted, you know, we can hook you up, you know, and then repeatedly suggesting to me that, oh, you're pretty. But my sister, like, she's really good at makeup and she does work in that plastic surgeon's office. You know? I don't know. Just messages like that kind of make it hard, quite frankly. Let's see. I've tried very hard to be what we all wanted me to be. Yet I could never quite manage it. Between all of that negative feedback and my own dysmorphic eye, I've always felt a little bit of a monster. Good thing I like monsters. All right. So that was a point I threw in there. Let's see, what else did I say? Okay. Yes. I'm occupying a very uncomfortable, annoying space right now between a lot of worlds. Between political ideas and spiritual ideas. I'm occupying a space that just isn't simple. But I think embracing that would actually be my best bet. So that's what I've been working on, you know. I've been learning a lot the last few years. I've learned a whole lot. And as a result, I'm now in a very strange place in between worlds. And the thing is, because I've made friends with certain political worlds, and I'm like, oh, guys have some really good points, and you're right about a lot of things that a lot of my hippie friends were wrong about, and I was wrong about. You know, that's the biggest thing that I've learned is you think of it like extreme left, extreme right, right? I don't think that's how it is, you know, as if it's a flat plane. Here's what I think it is: a circle. I think if you go far enough around, the left and the right become the same on the extremes. That's what I discovered. Because I used to think that like extreme right-wing stuff was like so different than the stuff I was saying, you know? But then I would have people point out like, oh, you sound like this. And I would be like, no, I don't. What are you talking about? You know? I'm just, you know, screw the man. Anarchy, let's take it down, build up the system, make something new, like those sorts of ideas, you know? And, but I've since realized that's actually not true at all, that it's different. It's actually the same idea in slightly different packaging. Now, I'm still learning, so I haven't quite figured out the best way to frame this, but I hope to be able to do that. And that ties into this idea of me being between worlds. And I've decided, I've been thinking about this, and this will require a lot of bravery if I can manage it. But I want to be a bridge. I want to be the bridge between worlds. Because the thing is once I realized how wrong some of my ideas were, I tried to just switch worlds and just be like, oh, well, I'm just going to be part of this world then. But then I realized that, you know, there are some things about that world that I was actually right about before. There are actually some issues here. You know, sorry, David Pacman. And so I say to myself that I'm like, okay, I can see things that certain other people don't see because I've been there. I've been in that mindset, you know, I've been that. So I feel like maybe I can reach people a little bit better, you know, because now I understand like the worlds better. I'd like to help. I don't know if I'm smart enough or focused enough to do it, but that's what I would like. I don't know how I'm going to do it though. I've got ideas, but I have so many. I have just like so many ideas in my little note thing. Just go scrolling down. I should just start talking about them. But I would like to be a bridge between worlds. You know? Because, okay, I believe in science. You know? I think that we need to take into account what we can physically prove. I think that matters. But I also think that there are untouchable and unknowable things in the world. Not that we should define our world by those things, but I do think it's important to keep them in mind. I don't know. Yeah. Not to go all God of the gaps or anything like that, but over the past couple of years, things have been coming to light, I'd say. You know? So I guess I just see that trend continuing. I mean, how could it not? Things are just going to, you know, perhaps it'll just go into an entropic tailspin. But I don't know. I think if we get enough information, then I think we can do something. I'm not giving up on us yet, that's for sure. I feel like the human race is going through some really awkward growing stages right now, growing pains. We kind of gave ourselves maybe a little more than we could chew at the moment, but we're going to keep chewing. We're going to keep chewing on it. Might be messy right now, but guess what? Life has been messy since the very beginning, so why stop now? If anything, it's less messy now than it was before, I'd say. That seems the exact opposite of entropy, wouldn't you think? I don't know. Human systems seem to be getting more and more stable, I would say. Some people would say that they're destabilizing and everything's going to crap, but I would disagree with that, actually. I feel that things are difficult right now. I can't deny it. But I do think it's necessary, because I think that what we're doing is we're specializing our systems a bit better. We've created a different world. Our technology has created something that we are barely keeping hold of right now. But if you look at the way that the world, think about just the wars and everything going on. It used to just be, there's the idea of the fog of war, but war used to be extra foggy. But now, we're kind of watching it unfold. And even though there is, there are battles waging, but we see it, and it's not like the whole world is boots on the ground exploding. It's all very methodical, We're all going about it in a very calculated, stable way. All of our lives are just keep going. Even people in Ukraine, the parts that aren't actively being attacked are, living some sort of normalcy to a degree. They can go to the shop, they can go to the cafe, they can go sunbathe on the beach. And for Russia, it's the same thing. I guess they don't have McDonald's anymore. There's probably a lot of pain going on for the civilians right now. But I don't know. Money keeps being spent. People are still living their lives, and we're all watching it. So how chaotic and unhinged are things really? I'd argue maybe less than it seems if you're only looking at a piece of the picture. I think if you look at the whole picture, things are actually getting better. We've never been able to coordinate worldwide through an event like a pandemic before. Never did we have this ability, but now we do. And some people might argue that's bad and dangerous and a new world order. But I think it's better than that, I think and if it is a new world order, I don't know why we're so afraid of that. Is the order of our world really that good right now? I'd say it could be better. Personally, I think so. I'm not afraid of that. I'm not afraid of that change. But yeah, the humans are getting better. The humans are getting smarter, and we could possibly destroy ourselves. But I think that if there's anything humans are good at, it's fixing things last second. So I think we'll get there. All right. Rant ended. Let's see. I have an article about how humans can learn to echolocate in just 10 weeks, which I thought was very interesting. I don't know if I want to talk about this, but here, let me just see if there was a specific thing I wanted to say about this. I just thought it was a very interesting article because I've been thinking about like dolphins and things like that. And in Ukraine, in Odessa, there's a dolphinarium on the port, and I guess that a lot of the dolphins have been winding up on the shore dead lately because their echolocation has been getting disoriented due to the war submarines, combined with all of the aquatic mines that are now booby trapped all over the area. It's not a very good combo for them, I don't think. But did you know that humans also can do that? Let's see. And okay, so it takes about 20 training sessions, about 2 or 3 hours long each. But they found that both blind and sighted participants could do click-based echolocation. Oh. Let's see. Hold on. We got a comment over here. Fixing things last second. Perhaps the most human thing ever. Glad it's not just me. Definitely not just you. I'd say we're about to do that personally. Let's see. Determine. I just put this in here in case I didn't have anything to say to be honest. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. They improved from session 1 to session 20 across each task. We are very excited about this and feel it would make sense to provide information and training in click-based echolocation to people who may still have good functioning vision, but who are expected to lose their vision later. Anyway, I just thought that was interesting that people can learn how to echolocate. That's all. That's all I really wanted to say about that. Is that, yeah, it's like an extra sense. And I wondered if I could, and I tried to like picture what that must feel like, you know? Human bats, human dolphins. Oh, yeah, anyway. Sound is an amazing thing. I guess I didn't really have a point to that. Sorry. This other next ones I do though. Let's see. I had a transcendental moment on a Tuesday. So let me tell you about this moment I had on Tuesday, guys. So Tuesday was kind of a silly day. I was just having troubles focusing, but I got some stuff done. I did pretty good. But there was this moment Tuesday afternoon. It was rainy on Tuesday and it started storming outside, and I kind of wanted to go for a walk, but I also kind of didn't want to. And I decided that I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go. I was like, I'm just going to go sit on my balcony and listen to this rain. So we went out on my balcony, and rather than sitting in the chair, I just decided I was just going to sit on the floor. So I just sat on the floor of my balcony. I have a rug set out there, you know, so I was sitting on the rug on the floor of my balcony, and I was just sitting there and I was just listening to the rain. And let me tell you, I don't know, it was an ASMR experience to a whole nother degree. It was on another level, you could say. And I sat there and it was raining, and I just fell into this very meditative state, honestly. And it just felt so good. And there was this hummingbird. I've got this hummingbird feeder. I've been feeding the hummingbirds for a few years now. And they know that my spot is the spot. And so there was this hummingbird that was kind of flying around, and he kept coming back and kept coming back. And the first time, it was really funny. He was up by, I guess I don't know the gender, I just called it he, but he was up by the feeder, and it was like when he saw me, he kind of like kicked back like, what the heck are you doing? You're not in your box, because they can see me through my window. They're aware of me. They just know me as the creature in the box. He just kind of like startled back, like, what the heck are you doing out here? You know? And he just kind of sat there for a minute and he was like, it was very cute. And so I was sitting there, and I even caught some of it on video. I was thinking I was going to post it. I might still post it, but unfortunately, one thing I didn't realize until after the fact is that my air conditioner unit, which is super loud, I had to shut it off before I started, which is super loud, was kind of making some noise. So that made me a little bit sad. But I mean, people like air conditioning sounds too, I guess. But I cannot stand that air conditioner, you guys. I waited so long to turn it on because it's so loud, and it doesn't even work that good. But it's all I got, so there you go. I gotta have something, because whatever the weather is outside, it just leaks in here. So it's just how it goes because of the building. So I was having this transcendental moment, and yeah, I just felt very at peace. I don't know how to explain. Like, it was this spiritual moment where I just sat in utter meditation on the floor of my balcony, and I made friends with a hummingbird. You know. So I had this moment, and then the rain slowed down. I went back inside. And that same hummingbird, it was so funny. I still had my balcony doors open. The screen door was closed, but the doors were open. And after I'd come back in, that same hummingbird, now they're smart. Like, they're smart, and they know you. They're interesting. And the same hummingbird, I can see it. It goes up to the feeder, and then it darts down. It hovers in exactly the spot I was sitting in. It looks at me through the screen door, and it just squeaks at me. It just starts squeaking at me super loud. It was like, I don't know what it was saying to me, but I felt like it was like, you were right here. Now you're back in the box. But you were right here. Now I'm right here. Something like that. I don't know. But just the fact that it flew down to exactly where I was sitting and then decided to chirp at me, I don't know. I thought that was very cute. They also noticed I was gone when I went on my trip. They noticed because when I came back, multiple of them came up to like the window and like stared at me. One of them it went over there, and then it went over, and it was flying in front of the window, and it was like kind of bobbing up, and it was kind of like going around in circles, and it was really cute. I was like, oh, are you excited? It seemed like it was just really excited I was back. And then another one of them, and then another hummingbird came, and it flew direct. That one made sure that I know that it wanted me to know that it knew me, because it flew. I had my blinds open, and it flew in front of the door directly parallel from me. And it just like kind of was flying up and down in a line, and it was chirping at me. Then it flew off. And I just thought it was cute, because I was like, oh, I thought, I figure nobody cares that I'm gone. Nobody notices. But they did. And their food wasn't even gone. They still had plenty of food. So sometimes they chew me out if they run out of food. They're very funny like that. I can always tell when they're running low on food, because they will give me attitude. They'll like come up to the window, and they'll point their beak at the feeder, and then they'll come over and they'll be like, come on, girl, get on it. So yeah, they're funny. Also, one time, one of the hummingbirds, I was out and about. I was actually like looking at a place somewhat close by that had a balcony. And this hummingbird went flying by, and then it was funny because it like stopped dead in its tracks when it saw me, and it beelined over, and it was like chirping at me. And I got the sense that it was just like, what are you doing over here? You're not in your box. Why are you over at this box? Hummingbirds are very funny. And yeah, if you feed them, they'll make friends with you. I've been able to feed them straight from my hand before, so. And they keep coming back. Anyway, I just want to talk about hummingbirds for a second. It was a beautiful moment. And it was nice to connect with another creature in that special way. Oh, another creature that I ended up connecting with. In the same thing, the same day. So the things were open. my doors were open, but the blind door was closed. And at one point, I look over and I can see there's this wasp creature. And so I go, oh, I'm going to go close the door. So I go over and I can see it's on the inside of the screen. Close those doors. And so then when it was like wedged between the screen door and then the doors and the swingy doors, and I look at it and I'm like, what the heck is that? I was like, that's the weirdest looking wasp I've ever seen. Because I've never seen one like that, because it was like a wasp, but it had a stick body. And I was like, this wasp has like a stick body. I've never seen that before. Because it had this skinny yellow stick body, and then there's this little abdomen. But yeah, turns out that is, I was like, what the heck is that? So I looked it up, and turns out that is what they call, I looked up, I just typed in yellow jacket wasp. Really what I was looking for a whole chart though. I was looking for a chart of all of the bees and wasps and things, because I just wanted to compare and see which creature it might be. So I found a chart, and it turns out what it is. And I was like, stick body. That's exactly what I saw. So I learned that it is actually what they call a dirt dauber or a mud dauber. I kind of like dirt dauber better because it's got that alliteration going on, but mud dauber is nice as well though, because it's got that kind of peanut buttery assonance to it. I don't know. I think I'm going to go with dirt dauber though. That seemed to be the more popular of the two. But it turns out, I was afraid that thing, I was thinking about, I'm glad that I had shut the doors on it before it came flying in, because I was like, oh my God. Woo. I was like, what would I do if that thing got into my room and was like flying around? And I was like, I don't know what I would have done with it. I wouldn't have killed it. I probably would have done is I probably would have just opened the doors just wide open and just ran away and hid and just hoped that it flew out at one point. That's what I would have done. But that didn't happen. From my research, though, I learned that dirt daubers are actually quite docile and they don't generally sting you. It turns out they mostly just sting spiders. They sting spiders and hoard them in their nests. Their nests made out of mud, which is why they're called mud daubers or dirt daubers. Anyway, it's the most beautiful wasp, though, I think. And then as I was looking at the images of it, I just thought it was the most elegant wasp I had ever seen. And the eyes actually looked, I was like, oh, actually, this, because, some of them, they look like mean, but I was like, oh, actually, now that I get a better look of this creature, it actually had like doe eyes, it had like doe eyes, little stick body. And I was like, oh, what a lovely creature. Then once I learned that even if it did go flying around my house, it probably wasn't going to sting me anyway. I don't know. I felt much better about its presence. And then I felt bad that I was like, oh, I feel bad that I was afraid of you now, dear dirt dauber. They've probably got a nest around somewhere. I guess they like to hang out in attics and porches and things like that. And there's an attic up there and a porch down there and a balcony space here. So it's probably somewhere. It probably lives somewhere. And maybe it was just hanging out looking for a nice spider snack in my doorway. Probably will find one there. Let's see. I did have an article, a Dirt Lover article. I don't know if I wanted to read anything from this, but let me just make sure. I think maybe, I don't know. I guess I could show you a picture of it, maybe. So you can kind of see the stick body that I was talking about. Stick body. Oh, there we go. Okay. There we go. Oh, sorry. There we go. A little bit of a reflection there. But that's what it looks like. It's kind of pretty, huh? It's a dirt dauber. Sorry, I'm trying not to get the glare on there, but here's that. Is there anything else I want to show you on my phone while I got it out? I don't know. That is a dirt dauber. Very beautiful. Oh, wait. Maybe I could show you here. Good. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that. Oh, gosh. Dang it. I kind of want to show you the hummingbird that here. I don't know if you can see that, but can you kind of see the hummingbird? Oh, wait, wrong side. Can you kind of see up in the corner? Sorry, you can see my live stream. I'm not very sophisticated with it. I should get like some software or something. But you see, it's flying. It's flying in the corner. That was my transcendental moment, just so you're aware. Part of it anyway. Okay. So that was that. Is there anything else I want to show you guys? While we're looking at bugs, there's a little thing. Here we go. Like a guy. It's a ladybug. I learned that ladybugs are actually quite fierce. And they are quite plucky. Oh yeah, here I recorded this snail. Put that on my story the other day. That snail. I like snails. They're like my favorite. Okay, is there anything else that I want to show you guys? Probably not. Okay. Gosh dang it. So what did you think of that dirt dauber? Did you think that was kind of cool? There we go. Oh, wait, you have a comment. I have a mud dauber that lives in the exterior of my cement basement window. Oh, so you're already familiar. Their nests are so cool, like a little mud cocoon. Yeah, it does look like a mud cocoon, huh? I thought that their structures were actually quite beautiful. So, you've got a guardian mud dauber that lives in your basement. I guess you're not afraid of them. I guess you were already aware. Well, we are mud dauber twins or dirt dauber twins. I guess you prefer mud dauber, so maybe we'll go with that. Maybe it's the peanut buttery noise. Okay, was there anything else? Okay, there was something else that I wanted to talk about, but I think I might actually save that because I'm already at an hour. And I wanted to, I had this thought where actually I got sent some of my old high school poetry actually recently. And so I was thinking I would read some poetry, but I think I might actually save that. Or should I do it now? I don't know. Well, while I'm deciding whether or not I should make this live stream any longer, I'll tell you about this weird thunder that we had the other day. So I was having a hard time getting to bed, but there was just all of this dry lightning. Oh, you were absolutely afraid at first of the dauber. Okay, yeah, they look very gnarly because it's like skinny stick body stabby, and they're pretty big. So you look at it and you think it's like a monstrous creature. Oh yeah, the thunder. That's what it was. So there was this weird dry lightning that was going on. Just no rain, weird cloud cover, and it was just this lightning that was just flashing and flashing, and I was having a really hard time sleeping because it just kept flashing and disturbing me. And but at some point I did manage to kind of nod off. And then all of a sudden I wake up to the weirdest sounding thunder I have ever heard in my entire life. It was like I woke up and it was this really weird noise, and it was like shaking, but it was like shaking the walls. It was like shaking the walls of my apartment. And I had this moment where I was like, oh, are we having another earthquake? Because we had that earthquake in the area, SLC area, right before 2020, actually, right before the pandemic hit. And so I had this moment where the first second I woke up, there was this really weird noise happening that I couldn't quite identify. And I was like, is that thunder? But I was like, that sounds really weird. And the walls were shaking. So I was like, I had this moment where I was like, is earthquake? Earthquake? And then kind of faded off. And then it started up again. And I was like, oh, is this an earthquake? Is this an aftershock? But then as it kept going on, I was like, I think this is just really loud thunder. And I'm just glad. And it wasn't even right on top of us. It was like in the distance. So I'm sure whoever had that thunder directly above them, I imagine like their whole house must have been like trembling, because it was off in the distance, and it was really loud and really weird. Somebody posted the next day, a friend of mine posted something that's really funny. So I'm just going to read their comments to you really quick. Let's see. And they said, was it just me, or did that thunder sound like someone rolling their trash can up and down the street all night? Did the thunder sound like someone rolling their trash can up and down the street all night? And you know what? I think that's actually a very accurate description of the sound, because it was very strange sounding thunder. It was echoing and rumbling in this way that I'd never heard thunder rumble before, but that's actually a really good description. It sounded a lot like a garbage can being rolled up and down the road. That is what it sounded like. So I just wanted to talk about that, because I was like, what was that? That was very strange. Well, okay. Last thing, I think I am going to save those poems for next time. I'll try to stream sooner, so I'll hopefully have less to talk about. But I think I'm going to save, because there was 3 poems I was thinking of reading, but I think I'll save those. I was a little on the fence about it anyway, so I'm going to do that. But what I am going to do, let's see, is just show you guys. So I know that it's July already, and I know that I was like, I gotta jump on July for my journal. So it is Bridge Week right now for another couple of days. So I give myself that time to put it together. But I did a poll, actually, and that's what I want to talk about. I did a poll the other day. Because because I've got the theme that I want to do for this July. You get a preview. You get a preview. I'm kind of still. It's just in pencil right now. I'm still kind of because I've got the idea of what I want to make, and for the first time, I actually know. I have the weekly design more designed than the title page design. I actually have no idea how I'm going to do that, which is part of the problem. I'm just like, what am I even making right now? I don't know. I barely know. I'm doing like weird 90s rainbow themed soda pop stuff. Like here's the colors that I'm going with, you see. And then here's kind of like the sodas. I'm gonna try and think of some clever names for the sodas, but I've got like a lightning soda and a moon soda and a heart soda and a sun soda. And anyway, I did a couple of polls. I decided that I'm gonna do, as you can see, I'm gonna do the green and pink, I think, on that one. And then with this one, I'm gonna do my plan was to do the teal there. I wasn't sure what to do about the sun and the moon though, so I actually did a poll on my Instagram to see what people liked. And so of the three of the moon, it was actually, well, technically, if you looked at it and saw it, then technically this one here and then this one here tied the purple and the teal and then the gray and the teal. Technically those tied. If you saw the poll, then the purple and the teal was the one that actually won, but that's only because I accidentally voted for that one. I didn't mean to. I just clicked it. I wanted to see what everyone else said without my input, but if I hadn't clicked that one, then it would have been a tie between that one and that one. So I guess I have to just choose between those two. Well, I guess I don't have to. I did get a couple of votes for the purple and the gray. So who knows? Maybe I'll just go with the minority in this case. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. As for the sun, if you have a vote, feel free. And then as for the sun, I wasn't sure if I just wanted to do just the two colors or if I wanted the brown in there. The one with the brown won by, at first, that one was much more popular. The brown one was much more popular. But as the day wore on, the gap kind of closed. So really, the brown one is only marginally more popular than just the orange and yellow one. So I guess if I wanted, I could just pick whichever one of those I wanted to as well. But I don't know. So that's the plan. I'm going to do that this weekend, though. That's the plan, is to make a journal design. I don't know. I've hit a little bit of a creative block on it, but it'll come together. It'll come together this weekend. Just you wait. All right. Well, I think that's about it for the live stream. I don't want it to go too terribly long. Just because. Let's see. I think the way I'm going to end is I think I'm going to read something else, and I think I will save those poems for next time. Let's see. Our commenter Ross says, I will be stealing the phrase peanut butter assonance. Go for it. Thank you for your appreciation. Yeah. It's like chewy. I know that. Let's see. There's got to be something in here that I can end with. journals. Whoops. Well, shoot. I mean, I guess I could read about. What I should do is before I start live streaming, I should already have looked through my journal to see if there's anything I can read as like an outro or an intro or something like that. Well, maybe I'll read that one after all. No, keep it raw. Keep it raw. Oh, okay. So you mean don't pre-plan it too much. I see what you mean. Okay, good. I just worry when I'm flipping through stuff too much that it's, I don't know, boring. I like how you decide in the moment what you're going to read. Okay, well, thanks. That's good feedback. Thanks, Ross. I appreciate that. An essence of incandescence. I wrote that. Let's see there. That's just a standalone line, though. That's not an ending. Well, okay, well, maybe I'll do a couple of things. Because a couple of these ideas are actually relevant to things that I talked about in the stream, so I'll end with those. Okay, I've got a couple different things. Here's something I wrote for my sublime moment on the balcony with the hummingbird. If ever there were a moment sublime, I've just experienced one. A moment sublime in the rain on my balcony on a Tuesday afternoon with my friend, the hummingbird. We bask in the nectar together. I think that's nice. Oh, another thing where I talked a bit about myself wanting to be a bridge, being the bridge character, trying to be a bridge between worlds. Still in the middle of building the bridge. I have yet to cross it myself, but I've begun the transition. And once I cross the bridge, I can lead the others across. That's what I think. I don't really know where this bridge is going, though. That's part of the fun of it, I suppose. Okay, I'm just going to read this one because I think it's funny. So somebody made some comment about, it's like the dog that chases the car and doesn't know what to do with it. And I was thinking to myself, and I was like, I'm a bit like that dog. chasing. And then once I catch it, do I know what to do with it? I'm not sure I do. I'm figuring it out, though. Sometimes I find myself to be the dog that chases the car, but I don't know what to do with it when I catch it. Well, may this dog learn to drive. A miraculous miracle dog. Chasing the cars just to drive them. So, Consider this car driven, my friends. Consider it driven. All right, my friend. Well, thank you for being here on this Friday night with my friend as we bask in the nectar together. All right, I think I'm going to call that it. Till next time, keep basking in whatever nectar you can find. Bye.